Hello, my name is Doris, and I am Little Bird Products. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you're new here. And if you're new here, please subscribe. It does mean a lot to the channel, and I sure do appreciate it. What I want to talk about today is a couple of things. One is just a little snippet of what's been going on and keeping me focused, and I'm calling that Why Not, What Not? And I've been doing some research for my sewing protege and I to start setting up some live sales on Whatnot. I've been investigating a lot of the different platforms for live selling. You know, our Etsy stores have slowed down a little bit, Etsy itself, and I think shopping in general, from my perspective and what I've been reading, has slowed down a little bit. So we're thinking that if we do a regularly scheduled weekly Whatnot live show, we can sell some things, probably things that are a little simpler than this is what we're thinking, a little simpler than what we would work on and put in our Etsy store, and perhaps at a slightly lower price point because we wouldn't have the Etsy overhead for a lot of things. So that's what we're thinking, and I'm continuing to do some research on that, and I'm putting together a little business plan for she and I to go over this week. So stay tuned. I'll be announcing it here when we start doing our live sales so that you can join us. As I said, we think it's best to be on a regular schedule. If you have a time and a day of the week that works well for you to just join us, even if you don't want to buy anything, to just join us and give us some comments on what you like and, interact with us on a live basis. I'd certainly appreciate that. And please put it in the comments. That'll help me keep that in mind as we're moving forward with that. So that's my little why not, what not. For any of you who have sold on Whatnot or have bought from Whatnot, I would certainly appreciate your comments and knowing, what you know. We're just learning on this and just starting on this journey. So any help you can give us, we really appreciate it. The other thing I want to talk about today is what I have been working on, and that is another men's shirt upcycle. And we all know that I don't like to have any scraps. I like to always be using my scraps. And I've been making more of these dungaree dresses. This one is my latest, and I just love it. I'm just getting ready to take pictures of it. But when I make my dungaree dresses, I do what I call harvest. I harvest the sleeves off of men's shirts. And I try to get ones that are in the same color family. And it always takes 2 to 3, normally 3 men's shirts, because it takes about 6 sleeves to do these. Well, then one would ask, what do you do with the rest of the shirt? Well, that's what I'm going to show you. After I finish my yattering here, I'll take you through a little tutorial of what I do with those leftover parts of the shirts. Now, some of them, because all that's gone is the sleeves. Some of them I take the center part and I use them for my sweat shirts, and I'll put the sweatshirt sides and sleeves on them, and that'll actually upsize the men's shirt, makes it a little more feminine, and I use a lot of them for that. But what I decided to do, especially with our Whatnot shows in mind, I was looking for a little faster, easier way, that way could make it less expensive way to use those shirts. And I've seen a lot of videos lately of ladies who are upcycling men's shirts by cutting off some of the bottom and then making a ruffle collar out of it. So I thought, well, I can do that. That's pretty easy. And some of these men's shirts that I have, I try to get them as large as I can and as long as I can. So taking some of the length off isn't a big deal for me. And I thought, well, what else do I have? Well, I have a lot of lace tablecloths and things. Well, everybody, at least everybody I know, likes some things that are lacy. So the one that I'm going to show you a tutorial of, not only have I put, or am I putting, a ruffled collar on it, I am also opening up the sides because it's a men's large. And a men's large on me, it fits, but it's a little bit snug, and I don't like anything snug. So I'm actually opening up the side seams, and I'm going to put a godet. That's just a triangle. I'm thinking of lace in there. And then depending on how long the shirt ends up, I might put a little bit of lace ruffling around the bottom and around the back. Of course, I can't make anything too easy. I always have to complicate it a little bit. I'm planning on leaving these shirts sleeveless right now. Maybe just put a little cap sleeve on it. We'll see how that goes. Because you can wear a t-shirt under it, and you can use it as a little overshirt jacket, or you can wear it just as it is. You can wear it as a vest. So I think they have a lot of wearability, and I think they're going to be really very sweet. I'm not going to call them sweet shirts. I would use the word cute, but you know I'm trying to eliminate that from my vocabulary. So if you're interested in that, stick around. If you have any input to give us on Whatnot or on live selling in general, do you do it? Do you sign in? Do you buy? Have you sold like that? You know, any of your experiences really, really would help. And I appreciate it no end. And then at the end, I do have a little bit of film of me dancing around in some of my latest makes. I did finish a couple of sweet shirts, and they are really sweet. I'm really loving those. I have a difficult time not making a couple of sweet shirts each week. And I'm trying to protect some of my time to make some more hats, because I'm planning on selling those in our first live sales show. So if you're interested in purchasing one of my hats at it'll be a little bit of a discounted price. It's definitely going to be less than Etsy because we'll be doing the live sales ourselves. There's a little more work to that. And I think the platform will let us bring our pricing down a little. And in this day and age, you know, when everything is very expensive, I think that'll help people. And the hats are nice to give as gifts, or to have it for yourself when you're out walking or going to the store and those kind of things. I think I told you the funny story about my sewing protege. I've made her a couple of hats because it's difficult for her to find a hat that fits the circumference of her head, and she has a lot of hair. She's a young lady. And about the trucker that stopped her when she was out for her morning walk and told her he loved her hat and asked her where she got it. So she's had 3 men now stop her when she's wearing her hat. Now, I don't know what that says. I choose it to take that her hat is beautiful on her. Of course, she's young and kind of pretty too. So, you know, that might be part of it. So if you're interested in a hat that attracts a man, there you go. They're in my Etsy store now, and there will be some on our live sales platform when we do that. So watch for more information on that to come. And if you're interested in my new men's shirt upcycle, stay tuned. Thank you. Bye. We're back at it here in my sewing room, and on Ruffle here, my mannequin. She's just about my size. I'll turn you sideways so you can see her. I have one of my shirts that I've already harvested the sleeves on, and you can see how these, I think this is probably a men's large, because that's normally what I end up with when I harvest the sleeves. You can see that just a little tight. And so what I'll be doing is I will be opening the side seams up, because this is a shirt very similar, and I've started the same process. You'll notice here I've cut off the collar really close to the edge, and I have opened up the side seam because this one fit the same way, and this is the bottom of that shirt, which I took off. And what I did is I measured down on the front of the shirt how many buttons down when I had it on, approximately where I wanted it to be. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's 5. Count again. There's the top. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons down. So on this one, when I go to do it, here's the top. Snap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons down. So that leaves 2 at the bottom. So I'm going to put a pin right there because that's where I'll cut this one off. But I just wanted to show you that because I've already started on this one. Then what I did is I went and grabbed a couple of lace tablecloths that I had. A blue one, which you can't tell from this, it looks super dark here, but it looks nice with it, or a white one. I think I'll probably use the white one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that tablecloth and I'm going to measure this shirt down the side seams here. And I'm going to cut a triangle or a godet. It fit under the arm here, under the armpit, but I'm gonna give myself about 1 inch there at the top of the triangle and then widen it out. You know, I like them fairly generous here, and I'm also going to come down at least a few more inches here on the bottom below it, because I'm thinking I'll put a lace ruffle on the front of this and the back of this. I'm trying to not make it take too much time because I am going to try to sell these for a little less money, and if I don't spend as much time on it, then I feel like because the shirts only cost me 25 cents, that I can put a little less in it. And what I'm probably going to do is for those ruffles, at least one of them, I will take this and cut it in half because I only want a small ruffle. And I'll put a nice ruffle in the front and then a nice long ruffle in the back. So that's what I'm thinking. So the lace tablecloth piece, I think, is what's going to be the key under there. I think I'll use this, put it together and make a generous ruffle along the back and then use the lace in the front. So the lace comes around and does that. So I am going to, I'm going to finish the edges so that they don't fray. I'm going to take them to my serger and do that. And then I'm going to cut my lace piece, and I'll show you that when I get it pinned up and inset. And then I'm also going to take care of this ruffle for the back. And I'll bring you back and show you what that looks like when I'm finished. I cut 3 inches off of this shirt tail. Okay, and this I'm going to do a bit of a gathering. I finished the edges with my serger. I'm going to finish the little gathering, and then I'm going to sew it on the collar so it stands up in a nice little ruffle. It'll probably be about a 2-inch ruffle by the time I'm finished. Then what I'm going to do is, for the back of the shirt, I'm going to finish this off. This is about 6 inches. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6.5 inches. But by the time I serge the edge and finish it off, it won't be that much. I'm going to gather that up, and I'm going to put it on the back edge of the shirt. All right, so that there'll be a ruffle on the back. It'll be a longer ruffle like this, so that it'll be a high-low top. And then I have to cut my insets, my godets, for under the arm. I'll put them in there, and I want them to not be so long. They'll gradually come down this way. It'll be a ruffled piece of lace. It'll be cut this way. Then what I'll do is on the front of the shirt, the bottom front right here, I'll put about a 2-inch ruffle of lace. So when I cut my insets, I want them to be 2 to 4 inches longer than this hem, so that this hem, when it comes down, the lace will meet that lace under the arm, and then it'll gradually come down. So we'll see how that comes out. Pin everything up to see what it kind of sort of looks like. This is the back pinned up with the ruffle on the back. And this is the side inset on this side pinned up, and I left that little hem there. And here what I did is I gathered up the rest of the hem on the front, and I don't think I'm going to use it like that. I think I'm going to get and cut this more sheer piece of lace and gather it on the front, because I do like the front. And then the jury's still out on, should I leave that that long in the front, or should I pull it up a little bit so it's angled down like this? So after I get everything set on the back, and I do the ruffle on the collar, which I don't have pinned on there yet, then I can decide on the front lace. But I need to get everything else done. But I like the way the inset looks. I like the thickness of the ruffle on the side. That's the pocket for this is the curtain. And I like the hem in the pocket. I will have that be so it's even with the back, so it's not hanging down. And I will probably sew that together with tack a few stitches so the lace goes up behind it, just so that it's more secure in the armhole. And this will be sleeveless. I'm going to make all of these sleeveless because, like I said, I harvested the sleeve. I could put other sleeves in. I could put maybe a cap sleeve of lace, but I'm trying to not get too complicated. I thought about putting a couple inch, 3 or 4 inch lace ruffle up over the top so there's a little something on the top of your arm, but I'll wait until I'm all finished and decide on that. So that's the way it looks. This is going to be one of my what not sells things simpler. I love the way I did the double lace on the front. I love the way the ruffled collar just kind of stands up on its own, and I like it when it lays back like that. I love how I did the sides. Those were pieces of the collar, and I like the way that looks. And I love the way the back of it turned out. And there's the other side. I am very pleased with myself. Now to go try it on again. So that's how to take a men's large shirt and make it fit very comfy on a size 2X person. Yay!